Captain America Brave New World is now playing in theaters. It's a follow-up to the previous Captain America films, obviously. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Eternals, and The Incredible Hulk. Heavy on the Incredible Hulk connection because a lot of plot points from that film are paid off here 16 years later. No, actually 17 years later for some reason. It genuinely felt like an Incredible Hulk sequel with a cameo from Sam Wilson at times. How's the film itself? It's fine, it's pretty whatever. It definitely has its moments. I think literally every single action sequence in this film is pretty awesome. Specifically the final battle with Red Hulk and some of the aerial action is a lot of fun. Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford are really solid in their respective roles. But I really wish this film was cohesive enough to give the protagonist, Captain America, Sam Wilson, an arc of sorts, because Sam just feels kind of shoehorned into his own movie. And for a film with like a 2-hour runtime, everything just feels so episodic. At times, it felt like I was watching an extended episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This film has 3 antagonists. 3. The leader, Sidewinder, played by Giancarlo Esposito, and of course the one that's been marketed as like the star of the show, the big main villain, Red Hulk, and literally all 3 of them are incredibly underutilized. Sidewinder was an absurd waste of Esposito's talent. The leader was a really shallow adaptation of the character. Also, the leader is in the post-credit scene of this movie. I'm not going to spoil the post-credit scene, but it's so bad. It's abysmal. It's not worth the wait at all. And Red Hulk is barely in the movie. He's in it for like 10 minutes maybe. And the way Captain America defeats him at the end felt really abrupt and really rushed. This movie has a good amount of emotion sprinkled throughout, which I respected because I didn't expect that. I just wish it had clearer focus. It feels as if the movie is just jumping all over the place, making everything feel so disjointed. Isaiah Bradley, who is in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is a relatively large part of this movie, but there's so much more they could have done with the character. They could have told like a powerful story on race, political power, and what it means to be the symbol of a country that literally treated your people like trash. But this movie, for whatever reason, just does not care. It genuinely feels like Marvel had a screenplay ready for a Hulk movie. Then they realized that they don't have the rights to making a Hulk movie, so they just called it a Captain America movie. I don't understand what's going on. There's a lot of reshoots for this movie, and maybe they messed with the overall film, but I don't know what happened here. This movie, instead of doing the race thing that I mentioned previously, wants to give us a really shallow movie on the beginning of war. I couldn't feel any of the stakes. There's a lot of political power in play in this movie. It's like the Winter Soldier pretty much. We got a whole different countries coming in for one resource. You could probably guess what it is if you know anything about the movie. I'm not going to spoil it. But like I just could not care. We got this huge sequences with helicopters and ships being bombed, and I just could not care because the movie didn't give me enough to care. I did appreciate the lack of comedic relief in this movie and the more serious tone, but it just feels like this should have been a bigger deal. You know what I mean? Like, this is the first time Sam Wilson's Captain America is in a theatrically released film. This should have been a far bigger deal than it is. It just feels like another MCU movie. Not particularly memorable, not quite bad, not quite great, just kind of a movie. Just kind of a Captain America film that released.